So, y'all, man, we got another video. We got 10 most disturbing cases in TikTok history by Nightmare Feelings. Oh, y'all, boys, I was eating it. What's up with these like scary little noises and shit?
When people talked about banning TikTok, most of the fear was about data, surveillance, and what the app might be doing behind the scenes.
It's
But
100.
over the years, something even more disturbing has happened in plain sight. Ordinary people have used TikTok to capture moments that were unsettling and sometimes deeply disturbing. Some exposed real danger, others revealed behavior that should never have been recorded at all. These are 10 of the most disturbing cases caught on TikTok.
All right, talk to me. I'm ready.
There
Talk
was a
to me.
hidden apartment sitting right behind her wall, close enough for someone to walk
Hitting that
through at any
apartment?
moment. And the most unsettling
You go
part
walk.
was not just
Oh,
that
let
it
me see when it
existed,
opens up.
but the possibility that someone had already been there. On the 3rd of March, 2021, a TikTok user named Samantha, known as Sam, uploaded a video describing something that did not make sense. Her apartment would not
And
stay
she didn't even
warm.
know this?
No matter how
Hmm.
high she turned the heat, there was always a cold
She probably
draft,
shouldn't get somebody to come check this out.
like air was coming from
You know, if it was
somewhere it
like
should
not
not.
turning
At first,
heat.
it felt minor, just an inconvenience. But then she noticed something strange. Every time she stood near her bathroom doorway, she could feel cold air brushing against her, not from a
Mm-hmm.
vent, not from a window, but from
Like a
somewhere
hole.
hidden. So she started testing it. She checked the vents, nothing. She checked the light switch, a slight draft, but not enough to explain what she was feeling. Then she noticed something subtle. Her hair moved slightly when she stood in one exact spot, which meant one thing. Air was coming through the wall, but from where? The answer led her to the mirror. It did not sit right. It shifted, almost like it was covering something. And when she pulled it away,
There's one
everything
person.
changed. Behind that mirror was
Right,
a
no
hole,
sound in here.
not a small gap,
All right, what's she
not
saying?
something accidental, but a large opening, clean enough to look intentional, leading into complete darkness. And at that moment, the
Hmm.
situation stopped being about a cold apartment and
Whoa, I ain't
became
gonna kind
something
of.
else
Yo,
entirely, because now
what
the
the fuck?
question was simple.
There's somebody
Who
climbing.
made
Oh, that's
that
her.
hole and why? Most people would have stepped back, called for help, or left immediately. But
And I
Sam
would have
did
left.
something that turned
Yeah,
this
no,
into
that
one of the
wouldn't have
most
been. That
talked
wouldn't
about
happen to
TikTok
me.
moments. She went
I wouldn't have
inside,
went in there.
holding a small tool for protection.
A
She climbed
small
through the
tool.
opening and entered what she thought would be a single empty space. But it was not just a room, it was an entire apartment, a
You got a
separate living
hammer?
space
That's
hidden right
it?
next to hers. Quiet, unfinished, but not untouched. There were trash bags on the floor, a water bottle sitting there,
Trash bags on the
small
floor?
details that did not belong in an
Bro, that's
abandoned
creepy,
place.
bro.
And that is
Yeah, I gotta make sure y'all check every crevice of your house before y'all move in there.
where things start to
And like get the like
feel
backstory on
wrong,
the
because a
place too.
closer look raised an uncomfortable question. That water bottle was not old. It had a design that had only been released recently, which means someone had
Design?
been there not long before she found it. So now ask yourself this. If someone had been there recently, where were they now? She kept moving, and
Mm.
as she explored deeper, she found something that made the
And
situation
imagine she's sleeping. That dude or person just walking in
even more
around in her house.
serious. A door,
Eating her
and it was
food.
open. That changes
Probably standing over her.
everything, because an open door means access. It means this hidden apartment was not sealed off. It connected to somewhere else. Maybe a
Smelling
hallway,
something dying.
maybe outside, somewhere that allowed movement in and out. And if someone could walk into that space, then what stops them from walking into hers? That is the moment where curiosity turns into fear, because now it is no longer about a strange
That's not even
discovery.
privacy, bro.
It becomes about safety. There are only a few explanations, and none of them are comforting. One possibility is an illegal apartment conversion, a larger space divided into smaller units, leaving behind hidden openings, which does happen, especially in cities where space is limited. But that explanation has
That's the
problems,
thing.
because if this was just poor construction, why was the hole never sealed? Why was the second apartment left accessible?
I feel like
And most
someone did that
importantly,
themselves, but
why
I
were
just
there
thought you would
signs of
know.
recent activity inside a place that should not be in use? Another possibility is harder to ignore, that someone had been using that space quietly without being noticed. and suddenly the trash bags and water bottle stop being random objects and start looking like evidence. But then there is the bigger question: who knew about this? Because a hole like that does not appear overnight. A landlord or property owner would have had to see it at some
That's
point,
why she wouldn't sue
which
them.
leads to an uncomfortable thought. Was this ignored, or was it intentional? Sam eventually stepped out, locked the door from the inside, and returned to her apartment, placing the mirror back
And
as
me.
if nothing had happened. But nothing was normal anymore,
And she
because
probably live
once
by
you
herself
discover a
too.
hidden access point into your
I ain't
home,
be able to sleep.
you cannot unsee it. You cannot forget that someone could have been there, watching, waiting, or simply
That's
passing through.
scary, but
She ended her video by saying her landlord would be getting a call. But for
that's
many
it.
people watching, that did not feel like enough, because the real
Yeah, I ain't
question
gonna lie.
still remains. If that space was recently used, then whoever was
I feel
there
like
did
she
not
must have
just
knew about it or
disappear.
something.
So
That's why
where
she don't
did they
really care
go?
like that.
Before we continue, do you remember we set a goal to hit 250 a new 20? Importantly, subscribe back to the
But get
video.
him subscribers, y'all niggas.
She
Subscribe to
turned
that nigga
around and
channel.
saw a man standing inside her apartment. Not at the door, not
Huh?
outside, but already in her living room, just watching her. For a split second, nothing made sense. Then the fear hit. She immediately asked who he was and told him
What
to
the
get
fuck?
out, but he did not respond. He just stood there with his hands in his pockets, which
I
made the
think I,
situation more
I think I seen fight reactions.
dangerous, because now the question was not just why he was there, but what he might be hiding. Hannah Viverette, 25
Yeah, I
years
remember
old,
this.
had been recording a TikTok video in her living room. It was something she did often, a simple dance, a moment to relax. The balcony door behind her was slightly open to let in air, something that felt normal at the time. That was how he got in. While she was focused on recording, the man climbed up to her second floor balcony and stepped inside without making noise. There was no warning, no sign of forced entry, just a
Wasn't that
quiet
probably her
intrusion
ex
that
or
only
somebody,
became
bro?
real when she saw him. And once she did, everything changed.
Or
She
he's been
backed away
stalking her.
slowly, keeping her eyes on him, repeating the same words,
Who's this?
telling him to leave. Her voice was firm, but the tension was obvious. Every second he stayed there made the situation worse. He was not speaking, not moving, just standing there with his hands still hidden. What was he waiting for?
Damn, bro.
That
I ain't gonna
question
lie.
alone
I be having that fear of being watched too, bro.
was enough to push her
Especially
to
if I was a
act. She
female too,
turned
by
and ran
myself.
for the front door. That decision mattered, because staying even a few seconds longer could have trapped her inside. She later said it herself. If she had hesitated, he could have blocked her path or cornered her somewhere in the apartment. Instead, she got out. She ran to a neighbor's door,
That's good
knocking and
awareness.
calling for help. That was the moment the situation finally broke.
I
The
wouldn't call
man
for help.
left
I
the
would just ran.
apartment and disappeared from the scene. But that does not make
Just
it
calling
less
for help not gonna make
disturbing,
it any
because
better.
this was not a random
Unless you
face.
know the
She
person.
recognized him almost
That's what I said.
immediately. He was someone she had seen
Probably her
around
ex.
the apartment complex many
Or
times
just a
before,
random person stalking
familiar
her.
enough to notice, but not someone she had ever interacted with. So that raises a bigger question. Was this a random decision, or had he been watching her long enough to know when to act? Police later arrested a 36-year-old man, Angel Rodriguez Gomez. He was charged with burglary, assault, and stalking. But even with an arrest, one detail
Didn't get
continues
out
to
or
stand
something?
out: how fast everything happened. One moment she was dancing, completely unaware of anything around her.
So you always gotta
The
be
next
aware of your
moment,
surroundings
she
when you're a
was facing a
female, bro.
man inside her home, trying to get him out while not knowing what
So I
he
can
might
imagine
do.
that
No
happening at
buildup,
nighttime.
no warning.
You
Just
think,
a
oh, it's
normal
like your
moment
boyfriend
turning
came
into
home late or
something
something.
dangerous in
It's a
seconds. And
random
that is
person
what
saying
makes
that.
this case unsettling, because it forces you to think about how easily a safe space can be broken,
When I get into
and
bed
how
with you,
sometimes the only thing separating you from something worse is one quick decision.
just wake up to a random person
It is
sleeping
one
next to you,
thing
bro.
for the internet to joke about someone being disturbing, especially when people are calling them out for talking about having inappropriate intimacy with animals and making
Whoa,
deeply
wait, whoa.
uncomfortable comments about family boundaries.
Animals.
It is
Hold
another
on
when
now.
that person goes live and starts saying things that make people question whether any
Whoa,
of it is
wait.
a
What you
joke
mean
at all.
animals?
The situation revolves around a creator known as Anaconda, someone who had already gone viral years earlier for awkward internet moments, but later returned with content that felt far more
Hold
unsettling.
on now, man. What you
Over
mean
time,
animals,
clips
though?
began circulating from live streams and online shows where she would say things so extreme that viewers were left stuck between two possibilities.
Whoa, man.
Either this was an act
Talk about
designed for
little man.
shock, or something far more serious was
No,
being
I ain't no
revealed in
damn
real
bad.
time. One of the most talked about moments came from a live dating style stream. What should have been a normal, slightly awkward online interaction quickly turned into something else. Instead of typical conversation, she began describing ideas and scenarios that made the people on the call visibly
Uncomfortable?
uncomfortable.
That's what I'm
You could
saying,
see
bro.
it in their reactions.
I don't even
They were
understand
not
how this type
laughing,
of
they were
content could
trying
be
to
up.
process what they were hearing.
Like
She
they be
spoke
trying
in
to
a way that did not feel
block
like a
me.
quick joke.
They be trying to block me for watching a basketball video. And this shit's on the internet,
It
bro.
sounded
You know what I mean?
detailed, almost rehearsed, like something
Like
she had thought about before. That is where
my
the tension
championship video got
builds,
blocked.
because when
Copyrighted.
something is said with that
Blocked.
level of detail, people start asking, is this imagination? Or is this memory? The conversation did not
Memory is
stop
crazy.
there. In other clips, she referenced past relationships and situations that raised even more questions. She talked about older individuals, about meeting people online, about experiences that seemed
I gotta be safe with
inconsistent
me people
depending on when
online.
she told them. In one moment, something is described casually. In another, the same type of situation is framed as something she was forced into. That
Hmm?
contradiction is where things become difficult to follow, and that is exactly what makes this case unsettling, because you are not dealing with one clear story. You are dealing with multiple versions of events, all told by the same person, sometimes within the same time period. So, what is real and what is performance? There were also claims involving animals, which pushed the situation even
Oh man,
further
what you
into
mean animals
uncomfortable
are?
territory. At times, she dismissed it as jokes, saying
Nah,
people
nigga.
misunderstood
I don't be joking about no
her
animals,
sense
nigga.
of humor. At other
I ain't no
times,
damn
she
joke.
described scenarios involving other people that suggested something had actually happened to her. Again, the
Hmm?
pattern repeats. One version minimizes it, another version intensifies it. So, which one do you believe? As more clips surfaced, the internet started reacting in two ways.
Man, I'm starting to get
Some
uncomfortable,
people
bro. I ain't
believed
gonna
she
lie.
was deliberately saying shocking things to stay relevant, feeding off reactions and attention. Others believed there was something deeper going on, that these statements were not random, and that even if exaggerated, they were rooted in something real. Then there is another layer that makes this even more disturbing. The
Mm-hmm.
environment these conversations happened in. Most of this was said during live streams, in spaces where people could join,
I
comment, and
react.
even encourage her to keep talking. Some viewers pushed her, asked questions, or treated it like entertainment. That creates a feedback loop. The more shocking the statements, the more
Nah,
attention it
bro.
gets. And the more attention it
No, that's not an
gets,
excuse,
the
bro.
further things go. So now the question
I'm not
shifts.
hearing
Is
it
this
though.
someone revealing too much in a space that is not built for serious conversations? Or is this
But then I
someone
said just
intentionally
trolling her to
escalating
just
things
admit the
because
stuff
they
she
know it
do.
will keep people watching? Even her own explanations added to the confusion. She claimed that people who knew her in real life understood her humor, that everything was exaggerated for
That's
entertainment.
not a
But
humor,
that
bro.
raises another question. At what point does shock content stop being humor and
I don't
start becoming
understand, bro.
something harmful? Because when the details become this specific, when the reactions from others turn from laughter to discomfort, and when the stories start contradicting each other, it stops feeling like a performance. It starts feeling like something else entirely. And that is why this case stands out. Not because everything is clearly proven, but because nothing feels clear at all. Every clip adds another layer, every statement raises another question, and by the time you try to piece it together, you are left with one uncomfortable thought. What if even a small part of it is true? A father goes online to defend
No,
himself
man.
against allegations that he had an inappropriate and disturbing
Come on,
interest in his
man.
own daughter. But
Let's
instead
go,
of
bro.
clearing his
Like, come
name,
on, my
he ends
nigga.
up making everything worse. Because the more he tries to explain, the more people start noticing
Hey,
things that
bro.
don't add.
Alright, now. Y'all niggas is different, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, y'all niggas be having kids and be, like, trying to date them and shit, bro.
Up, and not just small
I ain't gonna lie,
inconsistency
dude.
patterns. This was supposed to be a normal family TikTok account, just a dad and his daughter building
Why y'all
content
so damn
together,
close, though,
gaining
bro?
views, growing a following. But somewhere along the way, the tone shifted. Viewers began picking up on moments that felt uncomfortable, interactions that lingered too long, gestures that didn't sit right. At first, people brushed it off. Then they started questioning it, and then they started digging. The account, known as the Dad and Daughter Dream Team, had already built a presence across TikTok and YouTube. Most of the content centered around Patrick and his daughter Sarah, but over time, viewers began pointing out repeated behaviors. The way he spoke to her, the way he positioned himself around her, the way he framed their relationship. It felt less like a
His
normal
face, bro. Like,
father-daughter
what the fuck
dynamic
going
and
on,
more like
bro?
something people could not quite
What's wrong
explain,
with him, man?
but clearly felt uneasy about. Then came a moment that changed everything. Patrick reportedly gave Sarah a purity ring when she was already an
Alright, bro.
adult. That single
Alright,
detail
nigga.
pushed the situation from strange to deeply
Give my
questionable
dog, bro.
because now people were no longer asking if
What
it
the
was
fuck you
awkward.
mean you didn't give your daughter a ring?
They were asking why it existed at all. Still, there was no hard proof, just discomfort, suspicion, and online debate until the internet found something else. Accounts began surfacing, allegedly linked to Patrick.
Okay, you and I both know he was a counselor very long before any incredible crazy accusations came out. Well, might believe some troll on Reddit that made them, but they weren't created so long ago and everything about those accounts and other privileges. And you alone serve deny all you want. So you say we have no proof. An innocent man doesn't respond with those words. You have no proof at this point. We know it was you, just another failed attempt to get rich. We're on the internet. So, Pat, if you stand so strongly with the video you made earlier, calling all those haters out, where did the video go? It looked like you were speaking with your whole chest, and you believe.
On platforms known for anonymous writing and AI generated content, and the themes in those accounts mirrored the
Wait,
accounts
what?
began surfacing, allegedly linked to Patrick, on platforms known for anonymous
It's
writing
like
and
other
AI
accounts that
generated
he
content,
used.
and the themes in those accounts mirrored the very concerns people already had. That is when the situation shifted from speculation to something much harder to ignore, because now the question was no longer just about behavior on camera. It was about intent. When confronted, Patrick returned with a long response video, trying to dismantle the accusations. But instead of addressing the core issue directly, he focused on one argument over and over again. There is no proof. He challenged how the accounts were connected to him. He dismissed similarities as coincidence. He suggested that people were forcing connections simply because they already believed he was guilty. But that defense created a new problem, because people were not just looking at one piece of evidence. They were looking at everything together: the behavior on camera, the purity ring, the
It's crazy
accounts,
what people will do
the the
to get rich,
repeated
bro.
patterns, and
Shit
when
is just
multiple
sad.
things point in
You
the
my boy
same
T Bank say, bro, like just do some reactions, bro. Be normal, bro. Let me get so much more views just being a normal person, bro. Instead of doing weird shit like this and traumatizing people, bro.
direction, coincidence starts
But
to
because
lose its
God ain't gonna
power.
let you do
What
that,
made it
bro.
worse was how
For
he
long,
framed his
man.
defense.
I ain't gonna lie.
Instead of explaining why the situation looked wrong, he focused on whether it could be proven beyond doubt. And for many viewers, that sounded less
Bro, I feel
like
like just
clarity
that be
and
that's automatic red flag within itself. People accusing you of something, and all you say is prove it. It's like, come on,
more
bro.
like
You guilty,
avoidance,
bro.
because this was never just about
Oh yeah,
proof. It
you
was
trying to
about
avoid the
what
truth?
people
Yeah,
were
that's that.
seeing unfold in real time. And then there is Sarah. As the situation grew, more people began to question her role in all of it,
Because I feel
not
like
as
she
someone
didn't want to do it.
responsible,
You
but
gotta
as
realize, like, if this is the dad, like, and that's what I was thinking too. Like, she didn't want to do this stuff. For me, she was like, she didn't want to be. Well, I'm not gonna say she didn't want to be born, but she didn't want to have to go through this. But she doesn't really have a choice, bro. I mean, especially if it's no. I don't think there's a mom figure in the picture. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened to her mom, prayers to her. She's alive or not, but for me, I'm assuming that this probably is only her only caretaker. So she just has to pretty much do what he says.
someone
For me,
possibly
but you feel me
caught in
saying though?
something she may not fully
Like,
recognize
if
herself.
that's what he
Whether
wants,
she was
then
aware,
it is
influenced,
what it
or
is.
simply used to it became a question that made the entire situation even more unsettling. And that is why this case stayed with
She don't really
people,
have much
because
control
even
over that.
without a final answer, it left behind something worse, a pattern that felt too consistent to ignore, and a question that still does not have a clear ending. What was really going on behind that account? Her hair
I don't
had
know, man.
not moved
Perhaps
in a
yeah.
month, not after shampoo, not after oils, not even after
And
repeated
I think we
attempts to
all
force
seen
it
this though,
loose.
right?
By the time she turned on the camera,
Like
this was
gorilla
no
glue
longer
shit.
a styling issue. It was
That shit
something
was like
stuck to her
stuck.
head that refused to come off. So how did
Yeah.
something meant to hold things together turn into something she could not escape? On the 3rd of February, 2021,
Hey, y'all
Jessica
remember
Brown
this?
posted a video that immediately
I
pulled
remember
people
this.
in. She
Like her
explained that
shit
she
was
had run out
not
of her
moving,
usual
muddy.
hairspray and reached for Gorilla Glue spray instead,
But
thinking
why?
it would give her the same hold. It did more than that.
But
It
why?
locked her hair into
But
place
wait, isn't that your fault though?
completely. What looked neat at first glance was
You had no
actually
hair
rigid.
products, so you used
Her
some
hair did
gorilla
not
glue.
shift. It did not respond. It stayed exactly where it was. The internet saw it, and the reactions split in seconds. Some people laughed because the situation
Chill.
sounded unreal. Others paused and looked closer. If she had already tried washing it multiple times and nothing changed,
That
then
shit
this
sound
was
like it
not just a
hurt too,
mistake.
bro. That
This was
yeah.
something deeper, something that might
All
not
that
come out
glue on your damn
easily. Then
head.
she posted again. This time, there was no room for doubt. She applied products on camera,
Boy, I know that. Hey,
wiped them
this some good
off,
shampoo though.
pressed down on her hair,
That's some
and
good
showed that
shampoo. I
nothing
ain't
was
gonna front.
working.
I'll
Not
be
a
using that
single
shampoo.
strand moved. That was the
I
turning
forgot what it's
point.
called though.
The tone shifted from curiosity to concern. Because once you see someone try
Ooh,
everything and
so
fail,
boy,
you start asking a different
that's
question.
making me
How
uncomfortable though.
far is this going to go?
Now that
Advice
shit not gonna
flooded
come off
in.
your shit.
People suggested alcohol, oils, home remedies,
Now you gotta go to the
salon
hospital, fam.
treatments. Some of it made sense,
Now you're gonna have to
some of
go
it
and
did
hit the
not.
hospital up, man.
But behind all the
I'm gonna lie.
suggestions was urgency.
Or just go
Everyone
ball.
understood
You could do
one
that
thing:
too.
the
I don't
longer
think
it
you could do
stayed
that. I
like
ain't gonna
that,
lie.
the worse it could get. By the 6th of February, she was in the hospital.
Oh, shoot, boy. She put up to the hospital. Alright, 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 alright. Like she's sleeping in that bit. Ooh, wee. That joint burning. That joint burning, boy. Oh, shoot, boy. Oh, shoot, that joint burning. What's she doing? I thought she went to the hot. This the hot. Ooh, wee. What's going on? What's going?
Doctors tried to break down
Yeah,
the
yeah, let me know
adhesive,
what's going on.
but this was not a normal
Narrator dude.
situation. The glue had hardened in a way that resisted typical treatments. At
Ooh,
one point, acetone was used,
I'm
but
like,
instead of
why did
solving
you
the
put
problem, it caused
gorilla
irritation
glue on
and
your
only
head?
softened the glue briefly before it
Like, what was
hardened
the point of
again.
that?
The pressure on her scalp remained constant.
No, like,
Even
actually, I genuinely want to know what she was thinking when she thought that putting gorilla glue would do something. You feel like what? Like, did they just not understand what gorilla glue was for? Like, I don't think. I think that's really what it is. A lot of people don't understand what gorilla glue is for, bro.
resting became
They just think it's something that helps you stick stuff together. You feel me?
difficult.
But nigga,
Imagine trying to sleep
it's
while
called gorilla
something
glue for
rigid
a
is
reason,
pulling at
bro.
your head every single moment.
This
And
shit was like
still,
gorilla glue. Like, you
even with all
can't.
of that happening,
Like, even a
not
gorilla
everyone
can't put us
believed
to the
her.
part. You know
Some
what I mean?
accused her of staging it.
But I wonder why it's
Others
called
said
gorilla
it was a
glue.
plan for attention or money. That contradiction made the
I don't
situation
know,
even
nigga. If you, bro, I ain't gonna lie, yeah. Like my boy T Bank said, bro. Just be normal, bro. Feel me? Do some reactions, do what you gotta do, bro. But some things you just gotta like leave in the dust, bro. Like putting gorilla glue on your head, feel me, having relations with feel me, your kids and shit, bro. Come on, bro. We gotta do a little bit something different, bro. Like you should have a good like relationship, like bond with your kid, but not that damn much of a bond, bro.
more
That other
uncomfortable to
dude had, feel
watch.
me?
Because
But
while one
nah,
group saw
nigga.
someone in pain,
It's
another
like
group
some
saw
things you just gotta
performance.
like
So,
come on.
which was it? Eventually, the situation reached some.
Cause it's like I just feel like you'll like lose money more if you do this. Cause you're gonna do it to the hospital, buy all these products. There's so many different things you have to do. Cause if you went to the hospital and they still couldn't fix it, shit, who else can fix it? You know what I mean? So you're gonna have to buy a whole bunch of products. Cause you're not gonna stop trying to fix it because it's hurting. So I mean, I don't think she did this on purpose necessarily, but
Someone who could
I
actually
don't know. I just
change
feel like
it.
it wasn't the
Dr.
best
Michael
idea.
Obang, a plastic surgeon in Los Angeles, offered to help. On the 11th of February, 2021, he
And that's like
performed a procedure to
6 days
carefully break down and remove
still.
the adhesive from her hair. It was not instant. It required
Ooh,
precision, patience, and the right chemical approach.
I
But
couldn't
step
imagine
by
how that
step,
feels
the
still
glue
on your
was
head.
dissolved, and for the first time in weeks, her hair was free. That should have been
Oh,
the end, but
okay.
it was not. During follow-up medical
What?
consultations, doctors discovered lumps in her breasts. This led to further
Her.
testing and surgery to remove them.
Hmm.
Suddenly, the story shifted again. What started as a viral mistake had pushed her into medical care that uncovered something far more serious. And
Hmm.
that leaves one uncomfortable question behind. If
What
that
happened?
video had never been posted, if that mistake had never gone viral, would that discovery have happened when it did? Or would it have gone unnoticed for
Hmm.
longer? That is what makes this case stand out.
What y'all
Not
think,
just
bro?
because of the shock, or the reactions, or even the mistake itself, but because somewhere inside a moment, the internet turned into entertainment. There was a real person dealing with pain, fear, and a situation that spiraled far beyond what anyone expected. And in the middle of it all, something much bigger was quietly uncovered.
Hey, man, prayers to her, man. Y'all niggas stop putting gorilla glue on
A
your head,
20-year
huh?
old woman went viral
Don't do that
after
shit again.
revealing that she had suffered a heart attack and the cause was
What?
something millions of people were casually doing on TikTok: dry scooping. It sounds simple. Take a scoop of
I don't be
pre-workout
doing
powder,
that. I ain't
skip
gonna
the
cap.
water,
I'm the type of person I'll put it in my my drink, like maybe some water or Gatorade or something. But I'm not finna just yeah, nah.
swallow it dry, and head
That's
to the
you
gym.
damn near just
That is the trend.
that don't
Fast,
even sound right.
intense, and supposedly more
And
effective.
you
But
skipping water, you ain't
what
gonna drink no
actually
water.
happens inside the
So I
body
mean, you
is
just gonna
very
get it and then
different,
just
because that scoop is not just
chug that
powder.
puppy.
It is a concentrated dose of stimulants, especially caffeine.
But I never used to use like protein powder and stuff like that. Like I know some people do. Nothing wrong with that, bro. But when I would go work out, like even when I worked out, well, I don't really get to work out as much anymore because I'm a little, feel me, iffy, injuries and shit. But when I used to work out, like I didn't do this type of stuff.
Hitting your system all at once.
That just don't feel
Videos
like it's
of
a
people
point.
doing it are everywhere. Some pour it straight into their
What the
mouths.
fuck,
Some try to swallow it in one go. Others
nigga? What
cough
the
through it while
fuck?
recording, turning it into entertainment. But behind those
That's what I'm
clips
saying. Niggas would do anything for
is a
some money,
pattern
bro.
that doctors are starting to warn about. And the question is simple: what happens when your
She got
body
right though.
cannot
I ain't gonna lie.
handle that sudden hit? Pre-workout supplements can contain between 200 to 300 milligrams of caffeine in a single scoop. That is already multiple cups of coffee. But the real danger is how it is taken. When mixed with water, it
What
is
be wrong with
consumed
y'all, bro?
gradually. When
Like real
taken
shit. Like
dry,
what y'all
it
be
hits
thinking?
fast and it hits
And that
hard.
looked like it
That's
went right down. Like I'm not trying to be weird, bro, but that looked like it went like it didn't go on her tongue, bro. That
sudden
shit. I mean,
spike can push the
that
heart
ain't go
into
just on her
overdrive.
tongue, and that was
Doctors
it.
say it can cause a rapid increase in heart rate and blood pressure,
That just
leading
went
to
right
irregular
down,
heart rhythms.
just
In
right
more
down.
serious
I mean,
cases, it can trigger a
nah, man,
cardiac event,
I ain't gonna
including a
work.
heart
Yeah,
attack or stroke. And
yeah,
unlike what
bro.
many
I ain't gonna
believe,
lie.
this is not limited to people with existing
Like
health
even the
conditions.
cinnamon challenge, like at least I feel like the cinnamon challenge wasn't as bad. I mean, I didn't do it, but
It can happen to young, healthy
that's not as bad as
individuals.
this.
So why are people still doing it? Because it looks like a shortcut, a faster way to get energy, a way to feel
I don't
stronger
think it's
before a
that deep,
workout.
bro. I'm gonna be honest.
Influencers
I
promote
feel
it.
like you'll feel so much. Like I feel like that might be somewhat of an insecurity thing, bro. Too. Like, I know, like even like the biggest, like I feel like probably like the strongest people that take that type of stuff is so they can like enhance their performance. But I feel like if you already healthy, you feel me, you've been working out consistently, I feel like you'll be better and you'll feel a lot better if you just be normal, get it regularly, than sitting here doing stuff like this, risking your heart, the whole heart failure and all that. You feel me?
Viewers copy
It's
it,
not even worth it,
and the
bro.
cycle repeats. But experts say there is no real
Nigga was about to
benefit,
choke
no
in the gym,
proven
bro.
boost that makes it worth the risk. And that is
Look at
only
him, bro.
one part of the danger. There is also the way the powder enters the body. Without water, people often cough or choke while trying to swallow it. That can cause the powder to be inhaled into the lungs, leading to irritation or even infection. So
Infection,
now it is
inflammation
not
in the
just the
lungs.
heart at risk, it is also breathing. And there is another problem that most people do not consider. These supplements are not tightly regulated. That means some products can contain additional stimulants or
But
substances
yeah, I
that
ain't
are
gonna
not
lie. I'm gonna say this. I don't. This isn't the fault of the like the creators of this stuff, bro. That's their
clearly
fault. Ain't nobody
listed,
told them to do that,
increasing
bro.
the risk even
That's on them.
further. So when someone takes a dry scoop,
People take more
they
than
may
they're
not
supposed to
fully
take.
know
That's not
what
I
they are
don't got nothing to
putting
do with
into their
them.
body, which
I ain't
brings the
gonna lie.
focus back to that original
They just doing what they're
case. A
supposed to do.
young woman followed a trend, something she likely saw online, something
Shit,
that
that's
looked
the problem
normal
there.
because so
You just following the trend to take your life, bro. Y'all need. Yeah, I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. Just be
many
normal, bro.
others were doing it, and it
Stop
led
trying
to a
to
medical
copy other
emergency
people.
that could have ended far
Now everybody's
worse.
body's the
So now
same,
the
bro.
question changes. If one scoop can push the body that far, how many others are taking the same risk without realizing it? Because this is how these trends work. They start as harmless looking challenges.
And then
They
people start to
spread
do it.
quickly.
And then
They
everybody
feel
starts to do it.
normal. And by the time the
That's
warnings
why I feel like the
catch
only
up,
thing you should copy of other people is probably dances, bro. That's the most harmless thing. Like, see a TikTok trend dance, you do that. But stuff like this, cinnamon challenge, all that other stuff, you
the
just leave it
damage
on the
has
drives,
already
bro.
started. And that is what makes this one disturbing. Not just what happened to her, but how easy it is for something like this to keep happening again. It always
Where's
starts the
her though?
same way.
Oh yeah, see this right
Someone
here
steps
too.
onto the first
Challenges
crate,
like these,
steady
bro.
at first, confident,
I never did this
almost
though.
like it is easier than it looks. Then
I
they
was too
reach the
big for
top.
that.
The crates begin to shift, and within seconds, everything collapses. The person goes down with it.
Yeah, I
Hard.
ain't gonna lie, this
That
was
is
a
the
hard
milk
TikTok
crate
trend back in the day though.
challenge. A trend that looks simple
Niggas
on
used to,
screen,
I think they
but
used to like
rarely ends the way people
do it against
expect.
each other.
The idea
Too.
is
But
straightforward.
then they got boots on,
Stack
bro.
plastic milk crates
What's
into
wrong
a
with him?
pyramid, climb up one side, reach the top, and walk back down without falling. It sounds easy
It's actually kind of
until you
hard though.
realize the crates are not stable. They bend, they slide, and they collapse under pressure. And
Bro,
once one
nigga.
moves, the rest follow. That is
Like a
why most
domino
attempts
shift.
end the same way, with a sudden drop, no
That's why
control,
niggas be too
and no way to stop
rushy.
it once it
Like if you
starts.
don't
And
rush that
yet,
bit,
people kept
you probably be
trying. The
straight.
videos spread fast, pulling in millions of
Yo, is
views
he in the
across
middle of the
TikTok and
street,
other
nigga?
platforms. Some clips
Steve.
showed people failing on the first few
Yeah,
steps,
Steve.
while others made it all the way to the
That's what I
top,
said, bro.
only to fall even harder on the way down.
Like
A few
certain trends are
succeeded,
just not for us,
and
bro.
those rare wins
As
made
big
the
dogs,
challenge
man.
look possible.
So
That
leave that
is
to
what
them
pulled
niggas,
more
man.
people
Alright?
in, because when you see someone do it, you start thinking you can too.
Like look how much he's
But what the
shaking, bro.
videos do not show clearly
Why would
is
he
the
even do
impact
that?
of those falls,
What was
the
the point of
angle,
that?
the height, and the way the body hits the ground with
Damn.
no support. Doctors started noticing it before many viewers
I you'll
did.
probably get brain
Hospitals
damage,
began
bro.
seeing injuries linked to the challenge, including broken wrists from trying to catch a fall, shoulder
Broken wrist.
dislocations, and
Damn.
torn ligaments in the knees. In more serious cases, there were even concerns about spinal injuries. These were not small accidents. They
Like
were
why
serious
though? Like what is
outcomes
the
from
point of
something
that,
that
bro?
looked like a game.
You feel
So
me?
the question
Like what are
becomes,
you gaining out of doing this right here? Besides clout. Now I just honestly want to know, like if they were these challenges were popular and they weren't trends, like meaning you can't get anything out of it, like even if it was a trend but you couldn't get no money out of it, if people will still do it. Even if you get a million views, a billion views, as many views as possible, bro. If you got no money from it, will people still do it?
why risk it? Part of it is the way the challenge is presented. It looks fun, competitive,
You can
and
look kind
almost
of
like
fun though.
something you can
I ain't gonna
master with
cap.
balance and confidence. But the structure
But
itself is
niggas be moving
unstable
too
by
fast.
design, and it is not meant to hold weight in that way,
And it's
which
like
means
shit, you
failure
hit
is not
right
just
here,
likely, it is
you on your
expected.
own.
Even as warnings spread, the
Look at
trend
this
kept
shit,
growing.
bro.
People joked about it, memes flooded the internet,
Did a little
and
prayer. ICU's filling up half COVID patients, half milk crate challenge
some
videos.
even compared hospital
Got
situations, saying
149K on that
emergency
though.
rooms were dealing with both
22K
real
replays.
health crises and injuries from this challenge at the same time. And that is where
Yeah,
the
that's
situation
facts.
becomes more concerning, because while people were watching for entertainment, others were dealing with real consequences, real pain, and
So you
real
guys be your
recovery.
watcher, bro.
Eventually,
You just
TikTok
view
stepped
it. You
in.
be
The
alright.
platform began removing videos and blocking
Oh shoot. The leader sets results for the hashtag milk crate challenge and explained in a statement that the challenge was publicizing a dangerous activity. There was content that promotes and glorifies dangerous acts and remove and redirect churches so our community guidelines search such content. I mean, like I said with the other video, I encourage everyone to exercise caution in behavior whether on or not. I ain't gonna lie, like I said with the other video, um, with the one that like people are passing away for trying to go viral. I'm gonna be honest, like I feel like if the algorithm will stop allowing people to do stuff like this and get money off of it, niggas will not do it anymore. You feel me? If you allow them to keep it up, but they won't get no money from it, like you just block them from all type of money, niggas won't do it no more. Promise you. Like they like their whole account, like not you can make it to where their whole account will get money. If they do that one challenge, their whole account will never get money from it. Because even if they do that, they can just do that specific challenge and not get money from it, get a lot of views, get a lot of people to follow them, and they can make different content. But I would say if I was a TikTok creator or like a well not a creator, but like if I was made TikTok and I was like a whatever the fuck you want to call it, I would make it to where you can not get money off of it. Honestly, probably wouldn't even put you on the for you page, but I'll let you have your views. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to block you from your views. You're just not getting no money from it.
search results
Then
related to
if you continue to do it, then that's just gonna be on you. And I'll put like guidelines too, like I'll like how they be blocking the videos. I'll put in the little description of why it's blocked. That way, you're not getting no money from it. Dangerous. If you continue to do it, it's on you. For me, that way, if something happens to them, the police talking about why you for me, I'd be like, well, I told them not to do it. They continue to do it. There's nothing to do
the
with me. You know
challenge.
what I mean?
If you searched for it, you would see a notice
Like I said, niggas gonna do what they want
instead,
regardless,
warning that the
even if they get
content
no
was
money from it.
associated with dangerous behavior. It was a rare move, but one that showed how far things had gone. Even then, it did not
I just
erase
feel like
what
that
had
should have never
already
been a popular
happened.
trend
The
in the first
challenge had
place.
already spread beyond one platform. Clips were everywhere, and people had already attempted it. In some cases, people were not just falling by themselves. There were reports of others
Yeah,
interfering,
I said that.
kicking crates, and making it
Kicking is
even more
insane.
dangerous. So now the risk is not just the structure. it is also the people around it. And that leads to a bigger question. At what point does something stop being entertainment and start
She
becoming a
way
real
too high up,
danger?
bro.
Because this was never about skill or
What is
fitness.
she
It was
doing,
about
bro?
taking a risk that looks small on screen
I ain't
but
gonna
carries
lie.
real consequences in
And like
real
it was a
life.
big
That is
crowd
what
too.
makes this case stand out. Not
So I
just the
did see her pray
falls,
though.
not just the injuries, but how easily something unstable was turned into a challenge that millions of people wanted to
But I want to
try
know who started
without
this, bro.
fully
Like, what
understanding
made
how
niggas want
quickly
to
it
do
could
this
go
shit?
wrong. The
That's what
screen
I
shows
want
a
to know.
person standing right in front of the car, but when the camera lifts up, there is no one there. No movement, no shadow, nothing. Just empty
Man, my thing
space. And
something.
yet, the Tesla keeps detecting something. That is what has been unsettling people across TikTok. Drivers sitting in their cars, watching their dashboard display human figures walking, standing,
But it
even
was
moving
dark, ain't it?
closer, while the real world outside remains completely
Like a
still.
couple.
So, what exactly is the
They
car
got married.
seeing?
They
The
got some
clips all
dogs
feel
and
the same: a quiet
shit. Oh,
road, a
kids.
parking lot, or even a cemetery. And then suddenly, a figure appears on the screen. The driver pauses, looks
That's
up,
it.
scans the area, and finds nothing. Then the figure moves again, closer this time. That is when the panic sets in. One of the most viral examples shows a Tesla driving slowly through a graveyard at night. The headlights
Mhm.
reveal rows of tombstones, but on the screen, there are multiple figures walking between them. Not one, but several. As the car
Mm.
moves forward, those figures shift positions, appearing and disappearing as if they are actually there. But outside, there is no one. So people started asking questions. Is this just a glitch? Or is the system picking up something we cannot see? The theories spread quickly. Some believed the sensors were detecting spirits, especially in places already known for ghost stories. Locations like the house that inspired The Conjuring became hotspots for this trend, with TikTokers
Conjure?
intentionally driving through nearby areas to test it for themselves. And the results only made things stranger. In one video, multiple figures appear at
Hmm.
once, forming what looks like a crowd on the screen. The people inside the car react in real time, confused,
What the
nervous,
fuck?
trying to make sense of it. They even replay the footage, counting how many figures show up,
You like somebody got
questioning
out the
what they
car.
just witnessed. But then comes the doubt, because not everyone is convinced. Some viewers point out that Tesla sensors are designed to detect shapes and movement, not necessarily people. That means
Shapes.
objects like tombstones, statues, or even shadows could be misinterpreted as human figures. So what
Hmm.
looks like a person might not be a person at all. Still, that does not explain everything. There are clips recorded where the same thing happens: a clear road, no one nearby, yet the screen shows someone walking beside the car. In one case, the figure even
Hmm.
appears to be riding a bicycle before suddenly switching back to standing still. How does a system mistake
Whoa,
something
whoa.
bicycle
Let's see
before
right here in the
suddenly
front.
switching back to standing still? How does a system mistake something like that? Even more unsettling, some drivers reported the figures reacting to movement, as if they are aware of the car. They appear, disappear,
Yeah.
and sometimes seem to
I feel like they
approach the
was
vehicle
turning
before
around.
vanishing completely. That is where it stops feeling like a simple error. But there is another side to this. Experts explain that Tesla vehicles rely on cameras and sensors that constantly scan the environment. These systems are trained to recognize patterns that resemble humans, which means anything with a similar shape, like a pole, a tree,
Oh,
or even a cluster of objects, can
the
trigger a
tree.
false detection. In places like cemeteries, where there are uneven shapes, statues, and tightly packed objects, the chances of misinterpretation increase. So, what drivers are seeing may not be people at all, but the system trying to make sense of complex surroundings. However, the situation becomes more serious when you consider how the car reacts. If the system believes there is a person in front of the vehicle, it can trigger automatic braking or steering adjustments. That means a false detection is not just creepy, it can
I feel like a
actually be
Tesla is kind of
dangerous.
tough.
Imagine
I feel like
driving at
the inside of a Tesla is hard. I just don't really like the outside like
night,
that.
seeing a figure appear on your screen, and the car suddenly reacts to avoid something
Yeah,
that is
and then you
not
end up in
there.
the
That is a
bushes.
real risk. And
That's
then there is
scary,
the
bro.
trend
I ain't gonna
itself.
lie, bro.
People are now actively going out
I
to
end up
test
in them
this,
bushes in this mug,
driving
man.
through empty areas, focusing more on the screen than the road, trying to capture something unusual, which raises a
To
bigger
get some views
question.
and shit.
Are people chasing something they do not understand? Or creating fear out of a system that is simply doing its job imperfectly? Because whether it is a glitch, a misreading, or something we cannot
That
fully
is kind of
explain yet,
scary if that shit
one
start
thing is
turning by
clear:
itself.
the fear feels real, and
You know,
sometimes
I sit in the
that is
bushes.
enough.
Somebody overpower
She
you and shit. You trying
vanished,
to for
just
me?
like the others. and for a
You
while,
feel me
people
though,
thought
buddy?
the worst had happened to her. A disabled Airbnb host with a terminal illness, abandoned by a company, mistreated by guests, and then suddenly gone. It
Mm.
sounded tragic. It sounded believable. And that was exactly the problem, because none of it was real. The woman the internet knew as Carrie Jade Williams built one of the most disturbing deception cases to spread across TikTok. She appeared
Mm.
online as a vulnerable woman from Ireland, claiming she was living with Huntington's disease, a
What is
degenerative
that?
neurological condition that was slowly destroying her body. She spoke about seizures, memory loss, brain fog, and the humiliation of being mistreated because of
Damn,
her
that's
illness.
scary to like
Then
have
came
to
the
deal with
story
those
that
type of
made
emotions
people
every single
rally
day.
around her. In 2020,
And
Carrie
it's like now
claimed
you
she
can
had
do
listed her
about it.
home on Airbnb during the pandemic to make ends meet. According to her, 3 guests stayed there, saw the special accommodations inside the home, and reacted so badly to her condition that they threatened legal action. The story exploded because
Mm.
it sounded like a perfect example of cruelty. A sick woman trying to survive, only to be punished for existing. People believed her. They shared her videos. They defended
Please do not refund them. Not even decision needed. No way you refund them.
her. Activists raised money.
Don't you dare refund them. This
Strangers
is
saw her as a victim of
you.
discrimination and wanted to help. The story spread because it struck every emotional nerve at once: illness, injustice, public humiliation, corporate indifference. It looked like one of those cases where the internet had finally done something good by lifting up the person who needed help most. Then she disappeared. No warning. No proper goodbye, just silence. Her followers started to panic. Her final updates had mentioned worsening health and a countdown to major brain surgery. Once she stopped posting, many assumed she had died. For the people who had been following her closely, that felt like the only explanation that made sense. Why would someone fighting for support and visibility suddenly vanish in the middle of that story? But Carrie Jade was not the first woman in Ireland to disappear in such a strange way. Years earlier, other women had drifted into people's lives, built trust, and then vanished. A woman named Lucy Fitzwilliams presented herself as a child therapist and slowly gained access to a struggling single mother and her daughters. Another, Rebecca Fitzgerald, was known as an
Oh, actually,
autism
I had kids with
specialist
it,
who
bro.
had earned the trust of families. Then there was Sadie Harris, who joined a church community, made friendships, asked invasive questions, and vanished soon after. Different names,
Damn.
different counties, different lives. Same pattern. Each woman arrived with a carefully built identity. Each one seemed helpful, kind, and strangely impressive. Each one entered the lives of vulnerable people, earned trust, and then disappeared before the full truth could catch up. For a while, these looked like separate mysteries: missing women, suspicious stories, strange emotional fallout. But when journalists, police, and online investigators started pulling on the details, the whole thing began to collapse. Vice reporters checking Carrie's Airbnb story found something that changed everything. Airbnb had no record of her, no listing, no case, no trace of the event that had made her famous. The house she claimed to rent had never been part of that story at all. Then more cracks appeared. Her illness story did not hold. Her background shifted. Even a statement she posted, claiming she was being confused with a troubled sister, only made the situation look more suspicious. The reason Carrie disappeared was not because she died. She disappeared because Carrie Jade Williams never existed in the first
Damn. I just
place.
saw that
Neither
too.
did
I ain't gonna
Lucy
lie.
Fitzwilliams. Neither
I
did
was thinking that
Rebecca
in my head.
Fitzgerald. Neither did Sadie Harris.
Damn,
They
they
were
never.
all the same person. Her real name was Samantha Cooks, a convicted fraudster who had spent years moving through Ireland and the UK under different aliases. She targeted vulnerable
Mm.
people, especially families under stress, single mothers, and communities willing to trust someone who seemed compassionate, educated, or brave. Sometimes she gained emotional access, sometimes financial access, often both. That is what makes this case so disturbing. It was not just catfishing. It was not just fake profiles and online lies.
Mm.
This was a woman stepping into real lives, taking on roles that gave her power.
I don't know. It was just
This
something
was a
about this
woman
post. Like
stepping
I
into
feel like
real
a real person
lives,
posted.
taking on roles that gave her power, and using that trust as a weapon. She posed as a therapist, an advocate, a caregiver, a writer, a woman with a terminal illness. She even crafted stories so convincing that complete strangers donated money and defended her publicly. And when the truth finally came out, the damage was bigger than lost cash. Children had opened up to her. Families had relied on her. People had mourned women who never
Damn.
existed. Samantha Cooks was eventually arrested in a sting operation while collecting a welfare payment, and more victims came forward after her conviction. By then, the pattern was impossible to ignore. She did not just steal money, she stole trust. And for the people she fooled, that is often the part that lasts the longest. It sounds ridiculous at first, cooking
Is that
chicken in
NyQuil?
cough medicine, until
Yo,
you
what the
realize
fuck, nigga?
people actually
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, like me and my homeboys, we talking about like lean and shit like that. Like my homeboys said they be using NyQuil for lean. Like they could like any cough syrup. Um, but shit, I ain't lie, this ain't even the real NyQuil too.
did it, recorded it, and shared it like
Let's
it
just
was
say
normal. That is
nighttime.
what made this case so
I
disturbing.
ain't gonna lie, bro. Y'all niggas be doing. Y'all just literally killed a chicken for this shit, bro. That's why like stuff like this be just making me mad, bro. You literally just killed a innocent animal to put some damn NyQuil on it, bro. Are you serious? I ain't gonna lie, nigga.
Not
Just for
just
some
the act
views, bro.
itself, but how quickly a joke turned
Nigga,
into
you know
something
you're not
real
finna eat
and
that shit.
dangerous, all captured and spread
Cause then
through
now if
video.
niggas see this, especially the kids, they might think, oh yeah, let me go get some NyQuil from out the counter. Think pour it on my chicken for some sauce. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. You influencing bad stuff out here,
The
man.
trend is known as sleepy chicken. It started years
That shit
earlier
don't
as a
even
joke
sound right,
online,
bro.
a single post that was never meant to be taken
But that's not no
seriously.
joke, bro.
But when it resurfaced on
That's
TikTok,
nasty, bro.
something changed.
Put some damn
People were
NyQuil
no
on some
longer
chicken,
laughing at
man.
it.
What's
They
wrong
were
with you?
trying it, and they were filming
Alright,
everything.
bro.
In these videos, you can see the
See, nigga.
process unfold.
Come on now,
Bottles
bro.
of cough medicine poured into a pan,
Y'all just
chicken placed
wasting
to the
medicine, bro. At this point,
side, the liquid bubbling as it heats. It looks strange, almost unreal, but that is exactly what pulls people in. Because when something looks that
niggas be killing
unusual,
animals for a
people
science
stop and
experiment.
watch. But what most viewers did not understand is what was actually
Is this
happening in that
real?
moment.
Is it
Eating
real
cough
NyQuil?
medicine is not the same as using it normally. When it is
And make it
exposed
more
to high
concentrated, change its
temperatures, the
property in other
chemical structure
ways. If you
changes.
don't eat the
The
chicken, the healing
liquid
the
becomes
medication
more
vapors will
concentrated.
cook while
Vapors
cooking
are released
will
into
cause
the air,
higher levels
and
of the
those
drug
vapors
to
are
enter
not
your body.
harmless. So the real
It'll affect your
danger was
lungs.
not even the eating, it was the breathing. While people stood over their stoves recording content, they were inhaling concentrated
Look at
medication
that
fumes
shit, bro.
directly into their
And you're
lungs.
putting it back
According to
in?
warnings from health authorities, this could allow large amounts of the drug to enter the body quickly, damaging the lungs and affecting the nervous system.
That
In
shit's
some cases, it can
like
lead to dizziness,
stupid, bro.
confusion,
I
or
don't know. This
worse.
is a
And that
dumbass
is
idea right
exactly
here.
what happened. A 61-year-old man decided to try the trend himself. Not as a joke, not as satire, but seriously. He followed the same process seen in the videos. Heated the
Hey, nigga, whoever made this video, this is your fault. I just want to say this now. Before it even says what happened to the man, it's your fault for doing stupid shit, bro. You putting NyQuil on top of chicken. What do you think, bro, nigga? Like, come on, bro. Y'all
mixture,
niggas be doing shit.
stayed near it,
I ain't gonna lie.
breathed it in. He ended
Y'all
up
see this right
videos.
here?
Heated the mixture, stayed near it,
Look at that shit,
breathed it
bro.
in. He ended up in the
None
hospital.
of that is even
Doctors
going
later
in the bottle.
confirmed he suffered acute respiratory distress, a condition where the lungs struggle to function properly. Breathing becomes difficult, oxygen levels drop, and without treatment, it can become life-threatening. So now the question shifts. How did something this dangerous become content? Part of the answer lies in how these videos are presented.
Some
They are
fucking
short,
NyQuil on some
they
chicken.
are fast, they focus on the action, not the consequence. You see the cooking,
I
you
ain't gonna
see
lie.
the reaction, but you do not see what
That shit
happens
was
hours
stupid.
later. That gap creates a false sense of safety, because if nothing bad happens on screen, people assume nothing bad
Niggas
happens
don't
in
even be searching shit up or anything, at least. Like, if you're gonna do stupid shit like this, at least search up and see what will happen. You feel me? At least. That's the least you could do.
all. But the reality is very
Like,
different.
bro, I ain't gonna
Health
lie.
agencies like the FDA have warned that trends like this are driven by peer pressure and visibility. The goal is
That's not
not
even peer
safety,
pressure, bro. That's
the
just
goal is
stupid.
attention.
That's
And when
stupidity,
attention
bro.
becomes the
That has
reward,
nothing to do with
the
no
risk starts
damn
to feel
peer
worth
pressure,
it,
nigga.
especially to younger audiences. The developing
That's
brain
what I
is more
said.
likely
Younger
to act on
audiences, bro.
impulse. It focuses on the immediate reward.
Because kids always want more attention, bro.
The
That's the point.
views, the comments, the
They gonna
recognition,
rather it's
rather than the
social,
long-term
like social
consequences.
medias,
So when
it's
someone
in
sees a
person. I
video
mean,
getting millions of views, the
they're gonna
thought is
do it.
simple.
Well,
Why not try
I'm
it
not
too?
going to.
That is how these
But
trends spread. One
kids range affiliated up according to the pediatrics and the fact. Nigga, we all know this. Nigga, we was in school,
video
bro. I'm not sure.
becomes 10,
I'm not sure fucking science
10
teacher, nigga.
become thousands. And before anyone steps in, real harm has already happened. Even if the person does not eat the food, even if they stop halfway, the exposure alone can be enough to cause damage. That is what makes this case different. The danger is not always obvious. It builds quietly in the background while the camera is still recording, and by the time people realize something is wrong, it is already too late. So, what does that say about the nature of these challenges? It shows how easily perception can be manipulated. A joke becomes a trend becomes behavior, and behavior becomes consequence, all within a space designed to reward whatever gets attention the fastest. That is what makes this case unsettling, not just because of what people did, but because of how normal it looked while they were doing it.
Hey, nigga.
And that brings us to the end of this
Y'all little
episode.
motherfuckers out there,
If you
bro.
found this video
Stop doing stupid shit, alright? You hear me? Stop putting fucking NyQuil on chicken. Stop damn uh taking putting gorilla glue in your head. Stop taking motherfucking damn powder and just drinking it like it's a damn beverage. You feel me? Make better decisions in the world, alright? You listening? Make better decisions, bro. Cause I know y'all probably one of y'all niggas in this video probably tried to watch this, try and did this shit. You know what I mean? That try to do this stupid shit that I just watched. Stop doing stupid like that, bro. You know what I mean? Be normal. No, just be a normal person, bro. So I ask. Be normal, but be yourself, bro. If a video didn't go viral, if you put Nyquil chicken, would you put some damn Nyquil chicken? Exactly, bro. Do better, bro. Let's pray though. Lord, just protect everybody that was in this and just help them learn lessons. Just help everybody be able to learn lessons with just, wanting to have attention and go viral and just know that to just be themselves and it'd be even easier for them to go viral. You can go even more viral than they ever thought it would. Love them, never lose sight of you. We literally nothing without you. Just hope you sit in our dreams. For me as YouTubers watching something chase our dreams. Let's be able to stay safe, healthy, and never lose sight of you. We live well and without you. Show us how good life can get for us and our family. Just tell me, love you. I love y'all, man. Just so y'all, I'm over yesterday.